Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Tanks Blitz. I am going to be here in the Challenger, which is the other Tier 7 British tank destroyer. And this is going to be the stock Challenger experience, because I recently got the Challenger here from the Firefly after spending a bit of free XP to get it, because I just could not bear trying to do stuff in the Firefly anymore. Talking of Firefly, there it is. And yeah, so this is the Tier 7 British tank destroyer that people just forget about or don't really care about. And I can understand why. It works well. It can do well as a medium. Just a medium with a very slow turning turret and less health. However, that being said, there's nothing that it can do that the Comet can't do better, I think, is the best way of putting it. Yes, you can get a 20 pounder on this tank, which is actually worse in terms of DPM. It's better damage, better pen, I think, but it's just not as good DPM. It's got a far longer reload time than this 17 pounder. And it's just a bit of a weird tank that nobody really seems to care that much about. And I'm playing it here with a 76% crew. Just remember, I didn't want to spend gold to get my crew up to 100% because I don't know whether I want to keep this tank or not. If I'm honest, it's just... Come on, KV2, what are you doing? It's an interesting one. Oh, the KV2 fired. So yeah, it is an interesting tank. Interesting as in, it doesn't really fit a tank destroyer role. It kind of does, but it's a fast tank destroyer that was just set on fire by a VK, and I'm actually in a bad position here. In that not a lot of people like this tank, and I understand why. It's not actually that great of a tank. The armour's not that great, the turret traverse is very slow. It's got a bit of an odd choice of guns, either a 20 pounder or a 17 pounder, which means that your stock gun is basically your best gun, because unless you want the higher alpha of the 20 pounder, there's really not that much reason to change from the 17 pounder, as my aim time just is not helping me here, nor is my crew. I detract him great. I've really done nothing this game. It's a good thing I've already got my daily win finally, because my win rate in this tank has not been great. I do well in terms of crew, in terms of damage. However, we just tend to lose the game. But as you can see here, the rate of fire is still very good. It's a very dangerous tank if you let it aim up on you all the time and allow it to start pumping out shots like I'm doing here. This is the only bit of damage I've really done this game, as we win the game there. Yeah, you see, I was being a medium more than anything else. It's not really a particularly good tank destroyer playstyle tank. It's just a really weird tank. See, that was still 1,110 damage. I was still top of the team, even though I didn't feel like it. I sort of derped around for the most part of that game. But yeah, you saw this is everything stock, by the way, as well. You've got the upgraded engine from the Firefly, but otherwise you've got 32 pounder. That's what it is, not 20 pounder, a 32 pounder, like on the gun carrier. But yeah, it's just a bit of a weird tank. As you can see, I'm doing well in terms of being on top of my team, but when my team collapses and we lose like 2-7, there's not really much that says about it. I tend to go where all the mediums go, because you just do not have armour on this thing. The upgraded turret is actually worse armour. The front of this turret here is 101 at the front. So it's 101 at the front of the turret with something like 50 sides or something. The upgraded turret is 50 at the front. You lose half of your armour when you upgrade to the next turret, and that's only to get the 32 pounder, which actually people might not want, because the 17 pounder is a decent gun here. As you saw when I quickly flashed onto it, the 32 pounder, it's got good damage and it's got good pen, 220 pen. But this thing's got a better rate of fire, and I'm going to get clipped by it. Oh, I bounced a bulldog. I don't want to get shot by a Progetto from the middle of the town. See, watch this turret traverse. This is 14 degrees of turret traverse. Oh great, and he killed the gunner. Yeah, this is 14 degrees of turret traverse. Look at this. Trying to turn in VK. Pop back, pop back, pop back. Look at that. What was that? Oh, what was that? What's the bulldog doing over here? There's a Progetto right there. As you can see, I've just not got the armour to deal with a Progetto, unless he hits my side like that. Because I'm playing with a 76% crew, which normally I'd have 100% crew when I'm doing these, because there'll be tanks that I like and want to play. But in this case, I'm playing this, and I didn't want to spend the gold, like I say. But I can get some damage on him and the Progetto. There's a revenge shot. Here they come. No. Dead to the Progetto. Yeah, the armour on this thing just doesn't allow you to sustain any hits whatsoever. At least the ATs you can kind of sustain hits in. Comet's dead, KV Fortress is gonna die, and then it will just be these guys. It would just be these guys on the other flank, the VK, the Ferdinand, and who else is it? The IS-3, who's all the way over there. Manages to kill the King, but yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what you're working with the Challenger here. You got just a weird mix of tank, and it kind of works and then kind of doesn't. It's a very weird tank to try and think of something good that the Comet can't do, because it's got the same 17 sort of pounder as a Comet. I think it's actually got more pen than the Comet, but I think that might actually be wrong. Hello there, Progetto. It's got no armour. The Comet has at least got a decent turret that can be a bit tricky to pen unless you can just raw pen straight through the front of the Comet's turret. But at tier 7 you can't necessarily do that, because it's a bit of a mess of armour. Whereas this thing you can go straight through the 101 front, because it's 101 at the front, but it's completely flat. The upgraded gun has got worse DPM. It's got better damage, better damage, better pen, which makes it a good idea to upgrade to it, definitely, over this thing. 171 is not exactly the best, and you do at least have 250 damage, so you can at least kill things, like that bulldog that you can kill or something like that. But even so, the turret is still worse on that upgraded gun. It's really just, yeah, on that upgraded turret, it's just a bit of a weird tank. So yeah, we lost that game. 620 damage. I really didn't do that much. I did better than the Panther 2, but that's not exactly saying much. We did lose on Supremacy cap points. So yeah, there's that. Let's go once more. Yeah, it kind of works better as a medium. Well, I'm up to 77% crew. Hey. Yeah, it kind of just works better as a medium than anything else. You can get the reload time down to this with 100% crew and gun rammer, which is the only equipment I've unlocked for this. I've only unlocked the gun rammer. You can get the reload time down to something like about 4 seconds. It's not, not too bad. But then again, the Firefly had a sort of that amount of reload. The Firefly is arguably better. No, but still a 4.4 second reload. Oh, we're all going this way. Why? It's a tier 8 game again as well. Yeah, not much more I can say about it. It's quite quick, kind of mobile. The upgraded tracks give it, I think it's like 32 degrees hull traverse. The upgraded turret, however, only gives like 17 degrees of turret traverse. So it's not exactly that great. Sent, bounced. Yeah. Oh come on. Oh, and he got my gunner again. at this turret. I reckon the scent's going to stay behind that rock. ISU's coming back up though. There's one good shot. Oh, didn't quite reload in time. There goes the king. Oh. There goes my aim. Yeah, okay, I'm not sticking around to get shot at by him. 252U. No, great. Yak Panther. Yeah, we can at least hit the lower glaciers with something like a Yak Panther. But 252U, you can get through the side of a king, and the cupola of a king as well, don't forget that. That angled front of that Yak Panther is not doing me anything. We've been bounced with APCR. That 252U is being a real annoyance. Get through the top edge of a king, like I say. This gun, 252. Nah, not having any luck with him. And the scent's up there, so I can't go into a upper position. There goes the AC. Oh, really? No. And dead to the king. Yeah. Welcome to the game of playing the Challenger. Losing 6-0. And I want to say it's because of the tank. If I was in a better tank, I would have been able to help with that flank more. But because I'm in something which just doesn't have the armour, I don't know why the IS-6 is like that. Because I'm in something that doesn't have the armour, it doesn't have a gun that's really great. It's pretty slow with this stock engine and not that great crew. Look at that, second only to the SU-152. Yeah, because I'm just not in something which can effectively deal with the flank, or rush across the map like a comet. It's really just not a particularly great tank to be on your team with. 101 frontal turret, 40-40. Hull is only 88 at the front, 50-38. 4.38 second reload time, 171 average pen, 160 average damage. 10 degrees of gun depression, so you can kind of ridgeline it, but still. There you go. 15 degrees of hull, 15 degrees of turret, and 28.34 hull. Here's the upgraded turret. Look at this. It gives you an extra 60 HP. Turret front goes down to 50. Turret rear goes up to 50 for some reason. Turret traverse goes up to 16, 17 degrees. If I had 100% crew, that might be up to 18 degrees perhaps. Still not particularly great. And then here's the gun. Even with my not 100% crew, my 77% crew, still dispersion is far worse. The aim time is far worse. DPM, you go down 300 DPM there. Reload does about 8 seconds. Good, decent pen, decent APCR pen, decent damage, still 10 degrees of gun depression. But even so, there's nothing that it can do that the Comet can't do better. Here's what the Comet gets. Comet does get a worse penetrating gun, but it does get better DPM, better reload time. The turret armour on this thing is only 76, but the upgraded turret goes up to 111. And it's a very weird looking turret, so you can at least bounce things off of it. Even so, hull traverse is still 50 degrees. The turret traverse of the Comet is, you get more HP because you are a medium. You get 48 degrees of turret traverse on the Comet. And yes, this thing is a tank destroyer, and I know that the turret to tank destroyers do have a slow traversing turret to compensate for the fact that they do have a usually good gun to go with the turret. But even so, if this thing had a better turret traverse speed, maybe it'd be better. However, when I'm playing in the Challenger and I'm in a match like that where we start losing, I do feel that it's because I am in a Challenger rather than in something like a Tiger or a Panther or a Type 62 or any of these tanks really. I could be in any of these tanks and probably be more useful than I am in a Challenger. And let me just show you the one last thing, which is the stats of the Challenger when that I have been playing in it now for 11 battles. Is it? No, 12 battles. 12 battles I've been playing this thing. I've got a 25% win rate. The 2 battles we won in this video contribute 2/3 of those victories. And I've played 12 battles in it, which, compared to the Angry Connor, I've won double them in an Angry Connor, and the Angry Connor isn't exactly the best tier 5 tank destroyer around. But then I'm playing in this thing, and, you know, average damage caused is nearly 1,000. It's pretty good, and I receive less damage than I deal. I've got a pretty decent damage rate. Accuracy is not that great, but, you know, I have at least got some decent stats in this thing. But even so, I could have those stats in a Comet, and it would be far better. And overall, it's just not a particularly great tank to want to go out and get, unless you are just grinding through to get to the Death Star 2. Although it's not exactly a Death Star 2 anymore because it's got an autoloader. But you know, the FV 4000 and whatever it is. This thing is just doesn't have a definitive place, so it just sort of gets left behind. And that's all I really have to say about it. So I'll thank you all for watching, and goodbye.